Dear friends in Jesus Christ, today we are in the fourth Sunday of the season of Lent. On the first Sunday we saw Jesus in the desert. And the second Sunday we saw Jesus on the mountain. And the third Sunday we saw Jesus standing near at the well. And today we see Jesus passing by on the street. Ironically, on the fourth Sunday, when Jesus was passing by on the street, we are inside our house. It's an irony of life. The theme of the liturgy of the word is very clearly, explicitly expressed in the second reading of today, where we are called to move from blindness to sight, from darkness to light. People today live in various types of blindness. The first reading and the gospel very clearly tell us what sorts of blindness that we are living in. The first reading taken from the first book of Samuel, we see where Samuel comes to the house of Jesse to choose and anoint a new king for Israel. Jesse asked all his 7 sons to parade before Samuel, thinking that one of these 7 sons will be chosen by God. But Samuel said, God does not choose these 7. Do you have any other son? And then Jesse thinks and tells, yes, I have one more son, but he has gone to the pasture and taken the sheep. Samuel told, I will wait until that son comes. That was David. God chose the man whom his own father rejected. Jesse had an ideological blindness. He had a prejudice. He had a way of thinking which could not go in line with God's way. When we come across in the gospel, the disciples asked Jesus when they saw the man born blind, is it the sin of this man or is it the sin of his parents? And Jesus told, no. It is not the sins of his nor the sins of his parents, but God wanted to do something greater things through this. And thus Jesus opened the another ideological blindness of disciples. And then we see Jesus opens the physical blindness of this man born blind. And he encounters with Jesus and he deepens the vision. And finally, we also see the Pharisees, where they go on aggressively arguing with this person who received the vision, the sight from Jesus. They could not accept the fact because their eyes were closed, their thinking were closed, their hearts were closed. In other words, they were spiritually blind. So we come across 3 types of blindness: ideological blindness, physical blindness, and finally spiritual blindness. Physical blindness we can overcome. Ideological blindness we can overcome. But spiritual blindness we cannot overcome, because not only our eyes, not only our mind, but also our heart is closed. In this season of Lent, Jesus is asking us to open our hearts and minds so that we may be able to see Him very clearly, so that we may see the reality of the world very clearly, so that we may be able to see who I am very clearly, and that awareness will take us more closer to God. And that is the call and that is the challenge. As we continue to celebrate this Eucharist, let us surrender ourselves to God asking Him to open our minds, to open our hearts. Amen.